You know, we're always told there's a gold standard for everything in medicine, right? The one single test you can always trust. Well, today we're talking about the gold standard for bone health. But what if it's not gold at all? What if it's actually dangerously flawed? We're going to dive into some pretty shocking evidence that the test millions of people rely on might just be a big deception.
It's a simple question, but it's one that a lot of us start thinking about as we get a little older. And the answer feels, well, it feels like it determines everything. Are we going to stay active and strong, or are we going to live in fear of a simple fall? So naturally, we turn to our doctors. We trust them to give us a clear, accurate answer.
But here's the thing. What if that trust is completely misplaced? We're about to look at some information that suggests the one test designed to protect us is actually, in many cases, dangerously wrong. It's leading to a massive wave of overdiagnosis and pushing people, especially women, into taking powerful drugs they might not even need. So, to really get this, we have to start with the fear. The fear of getting older, the fear of becoming frail. This is what we're calling the osteoporosis dilemma. I mean, listen to this quote from a doctor. One of aging's most profound consequences is the gradual weakening of bones. That sentence right there, it just captures the fear perfectly, doesn't it? And because of that fear, the medical system has pushed for mass screening to try and catch bone loss early. And the tool they chose for the job? The DEXA scan. It's basically a low-dose X-ray that measures how dense your bones are. If your score is low compared to, say, a healthy 30-year-old, you could get a diagnosis of osteopenia or full-blown osteoporosis. It's been crowned the gold standard. But is it worthy of that title?
Okay, so let's get right to it. Just how flawed is this thing? Well, back in 2019, the Journal of Clinical Densitometry published a study that looked at the real-world accuracy of DEXA scans. And what they found? It's honestly staggering. Get ready for this. 90%. The study found that 9 out of every 10 DEXA scans had technical errors. And I'm not talking about tiny little glitches. These are big mistakes in how the scan was even done or how the data was crunched from the get-go. And it gets worse. On top of those messed up scans, they found that 80%, 80 of the final reports that your doctor actually reads had interpretation errors. So you've got bad data being fed into bad conclusions. It's a recipe for disaster. But this is the number that should really make you pause. 42% of scans had what they called major errors. These are mistakes so bad they could directly lead to you getting the wrong treatment. We're talking about millions of people, mostly women, taking powerful drugs they don't need, or maybe even worse, not getting treatment when they actually do. So you might be asking, how can it be this bad? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a whole cascade of potential problems. The machine itself could be off. The technologist might not position you correctly, something that happens all the time. Your own body fat can throw off the reading. By the time that number gets into a report, it's passed through so many potential points of failure that the final result can be completely meaningless.
These numbers are shocking, for sure. But what does a major error actually do to a real person? Let's talk about a case that shows the devastating human cost of these flawed scans. Okay, so check this out. There's this 56-year-old woman. For years, her DEXA scans were totally fine, healthy bones. Then, one day, a new scan suddenly says she has severe osteoporosis in her spine, but not her hips. Now, that alone should have been a huge red flag, because that's basically biologically impossible. But nobody caught it. She was put on a powerful drug and suffered absolutely horrific side effects, including her skin literally turning black at the injection sites. Finally, terrified, she got a second opinion, using a totally different kind of scan. And the truth? Her bones were perfectly healthy. She went through all that pain and suffering for a disease she never even had, all because of one flawed test. So this begs a pretty big question. How can a test with a 42% major error rate still be the standard of care? How is it defended so fiercely? Well, to figure that out, you've got to stop looking at the science and start following the money. A doctor quoted in one of the sources we reviewed just laid it out there bluntly. Whatever makes money is deemed ethical. This really points to a powerful argument that when a medical procedure is this profitable, its flaws just get swept under the rug. The whole system might just be built on money. Some have described this whole process as a medical sales funnel. Think about it. Step 1, you screen millions of healthy people, especially women over 50, with a cheap test like DEXA.
Step 2, a certain percentage of those scans will come back with a scary-sounding diagnosis, whether it's accurate or not. That then justifies selling really expensive prescription drugs. And step 3, if you want to grow your market, some argue you just move the goalposts, lower the bar for what's considered at risk, and suddenly millions more people need medication. So if the so-called gold standard is this broken, are we just stuck with it? Is there a better way? The answer, thankfully, is yes. There's a newer technology that actually addresses the core problems with DEXA. It's called REMS, and instead of radiation, it uses safe ultrasound waves. But here's the absolute game changer. REMS doesn't just look at bone density. It also assesses bone quality, the internal microarchitecture that makes a bone truly strong and resistant to fracture, not just dense. That's the piece of the puzzle DEXA completely misses. When you put them side by side, the difference is just, well, it's night and day. On one side, you have DEXA, high error rates, radiation, and it only measures one thing, density. On the other side, you have REMS. It's way more accurate, it's totally radiation-free, and this is the big one, it measures both density and bone quality. It gives you the full picture of your actual fracture risk, so you know who truly needs medication and who doesn't. And all of this leaves us with one final, really critical question. If a better, safer, more accurate test is out there, one that could spare millions of people from misdiagnosis and harmful treatments, why on earth are we still using a broken standard? The answer to that question affects the health of millions. And maybe just asking the question is the first step toward getting to the truth.